Well, hi there, everybody. Happy Friday to you. Meteorologist Matt Wintz here. Want to bring you the latest on Irma here on WKYC.com. We can see on satellite picture a very impressive storm system still. No sign of weakening whatsoever. That's Jose off to the far right of your screen. And we've got Katia now heading into the Gulf of Mexico and eventually into Mexico here over the next 24 hours. But a very, very impressive view. This is a monster hurricane as Irma. You can see that eye wall has gone through a little recycling phase. It looked a lot wider, looked like it may be kind of breaking apart a little bit, but that's just it kind of recycling that little spin you see. So looking pretty healthy now as it's just south of the Bahamas. You can see Florida here at the top of the screen. So it's just a matter of time before they begin to see not just the clouds, but some of these outer rain bands. So the latest on Irma right now, winds at 155. It's that red area that we're watching that has that hurricane force wind center to it. And most of the models now kind of agreeing that it's going to move off to not just the eastern half of Florida like we were thinking the last 48 hours, but that path continues to shift off to the west and now has been agreeing for about the last 12 hours. It makes landfall near the Florida Keys, then heads right up the gut of Florida there, eventually into Georgia and the Tennessee Valley. So you can see timing wise, could be dealing with a Cat 4, maybe a Cat 5, but right now the model consensus thinking a Category 4 hurricane, a major hurricane, making landfall sometime early Sunday morning. We're talking maybe 4, 5, 6 o'clock on the Florida Keys, then heading into mainland Florida around 8 o'clock. Give or take some time on this. Again, forecast subject to change. And then takes all the way Sunday through Monday morning to head up the state of Florida with some devastation, obviously, especially when it first hits. Now, for us Northeast Ohio, it is expected to meander its way into the Tennessee Valley still, but I think we're going to have enough dry air in here. This is not going to be an issue for us here in Ohio. I think we're going to maybe squeeze out a shower or two from it, but we're not going to see any wind. So here's your impacts. Again, destructive to Florida. You're probably getting sick of hearing it, but hopefully everyone has really heeded this warning down there if you have friends and family. Some damaging winds perhaps Georgia, South Carolina, and then inland, it's going to become a tropical storm and become a rain issue. So how much rain are we talking about? Computer models bringing anywhere from 10 to 15 inches of rain. Compare that to Harvey, 30 to 50 inches. Harvey sat. Irma's not going to sit. Irma's going to be a pretty quick mover. We are going to have flooding issues down in Florida, but the big issue is going to be the wind and the storm surge with this one. And as it heads north, you can see how we barely get any rainfall. It's really Georgia, Alabama, Florida Panhandle, and South Carolina that may have some flooding issues with that. We can look at the power outage index. This is a computer model that kind of forecasts what areas are going to see power outages. Normally yellow and orange, that's common with a strong storm system, but we're going to have, as you see, some massive power outages forecast from Miami to about Orlando area, and then further off to the north, we're dealing with major power outages. Pretty much all of Florida going to be without power. A lot of spots will be with those winds knocking down trees and a lot of things in its path. And the other thing I said was the storm surge. This is where it's going to be the most on now the east or western side of Florida between Miami as you head up towards Key West and Fort Myers. Tampa expected to maybe see a little increase in storm surge as we go through the daytime Sunday, but we're talking on the order of 10 to perhaps 15 feet of just water rise from what this system's pushing in. The final thing I want to show you, the hurricane wind probability. You can see that little purple area. That's where we're expecting those damaging winds. Probability obviously goes down as we go through time. This will be fine-tuned as we approach that timing, but you can see where those hurricane force winds may be. And again, from Miami, I think just off to the west, Key West, all the Florida Keys going to get battered with this one, and then still some residual damage as we head up towards Tampa, and then eventually weakening as that land helps to kind of shear Irma apart. We'll continue to have updates here and on the TV side of things as well, so make sure you stay tuned for the latest on Irma.